Tim, for giving up some time to talk with people about this really important situation that we have going on. It's a health crisis right now that we've all been dealing with. It's affecting us in so many different ways. And I'm just feeling really lucky to have a person like Tim who's willing to come on and talk to us more about how his organization, his company can help, but also give some perspective about how natural products, supplements, nutrients can help us right now to be better protected, but also help us with stress and anxiety. So Tim, first of all, let's give people a brief overview of your company so they know who you are and that in case they don't know yet.
Yeah. So I'm Tim O'Brien. I own a company called The Healthy Place Apple Wellness, and we have 4 brick and mortar locations in the Dane County area, and website findyourhealthyplace.com. We are a nutrition store, so vitamins, supplements, nutraceuticals, and our passion, commitment, mission is to help people become more educated in what natural alternatives are available and what the natural world is saying about using supplements for COVID-19, for the fight against degenerative disease, for asthma, for digestive issues, more energy, just living a better quality of life. So that's what my lovely wife, Becky, and I started 10 years ago now, and what we've been running with ever since. And now we got a beautiful team of 15 wellness consultants that have some heavy duty education in order to be a resource in this area of supplements. So I don't pretend to be a doctor or a pharmacist. I love our team in Madison. We have some of the best doctors, pharmacists in the world here in Madison. I love being a support to them and having providing and educating natural alternatives to some of what they have. So yeah, happy to be here and thankful for educating the world on what we do.
Well, Tim, there's a lot of things you guys do too. That's pretty interesting to see. I mean, obviously we see you sometimes doing some marketing, you've got some radio ads, some other things that you've done, but a lot of what you've done, even from the start of your company that I noticed, is about education. And that's one of the reasons that I really wanted to talk with you, because I knew this wasn't going to be a sales pitch. This was going to be informative education for people. And that's what we're trying to get out here through this new Dane Buy Local community channel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like anything, better to give than receive. If you can just give away education, the rest of the sales and the business seems to take care of itself. So training my whole team, we don't have commission in our stores for the simple reason of we want to be educators and we want to choose the products that are best for the individual, regardless of the profit from that product. And the more we give, the more that we seem to receive and build our business and our company. So it's just a win-win.
So tell me, let's get into it a little bit. First of all, of course, this is a very unknown situation. It's caused a lot of fear, a lot of people with a lot of concerns. There's still a lot of things we don't know, as I said, about this virus, about the situation. So if I'm a person and I'm trying to boost my own immune system to help protect myself a little bit more, what are some of the best ways I can do that?
Yeah. We kind of explain it to customers like a 3-prong approach, 3 lines of defense, if you will. And that's general nutrition, sleep, hydration, focusing in on your basic everyday health. And then there's the immune system and boosting the immune conversation. And then there's the inflammation conversation. And so right now, with so few people in Madison, Dane County, surrounding areas having COVID-19, right now it's more about those first 2, which is the in general, like let's eat well, let's sleep, get good rest, let's stay hydrated. Those are basic, quote unquote free things that we can do to strengthen our bodies. Because you have to start with a basic understanding that we're all inundated with free radical damage, oxidative stress, toxins from the food, water, air, beauty products, shampoos. That we live in a very different world than 100 years ago. So we need to be aware of that. So from a starting place, our immune systems are compromised. We are in a place being inundated with these things, these toxins, these free radicals, etc., that all weakens our body. So that's why even supplementing in the first place is so important in this day and age. Ago, you didn't have to worry as much about supplementing because the food was so much more rich in nutrition. So that's just sort of like a premise that you want to have an understanding of. What we're doing, what our expertise is those second 2 prongs. It's how to boost the immune system and how to take care of the inflammation problem. So before you get COVID-19, because we know now that most people will probably get the virus at some point or another, you want to boost the immune system. So to highlight a few nutrients supplements, we have a formula called Quick Defense by Gaia, and that is wonderful blend of nutraceuticals, herbs that highlights some nutrients like elderberry. And elderberry it has an active compound in it called sambucus, which dozens and dozens and dozens of clinical trials showing some good science and reason to believe that it can boost your immune system. So the University of Sydney did a pretty cool trial with elderberry that found in some of the cases prevented the virus from entering the cell and lessening the duration and severity of the virus. The whole country of Panama, I like to share, in the flu epidemic, gave their entire population elderberry because of its great power for immune system. High levels of D3, vitamin D3 with vitamin K2 is powerhouse for the immune system. Recently, actually, the former president of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, put out a public statement saying, hey, world, there's some good science and reason to believe vitamin D, high levels of vitamin D can help prevent gaining the virus. And, I might not have said it that boldly, but I was like, yeah, man, you're awesome. And, D3 with a K2, those being married together are important at the right levels and therapeutic level, powerful against this fight. Another one I love to highlight is colloidal silver. Colloidal silver, it tastes like water, so kids can drink it, adults, doesn't taste bad. And it has 10 parts per million silver. Silver is a mineral. People don't realize that, gold, silver, platinum, copper, calcium, magnesium, these are all minerals. And that level, silver is powerful antibiotic. Nature's natural antibiotic. So those are three that I really love to highlight for that second prong, that point that we're all at now of what can I do? What can I do for those I love? Is there something I can do for my kids to strengthen their little systems and prepare their bodies for the virus? And the answer is absolutely yes. And that's why I get a little excited and energized about this, is because there's really something you can do to strengthen the system and strengthen the body. And whether it's somebody getting it from my store or another store, you want to find somebody you can trust that can guide you to some of the nutraceuticals that are going to be at the right, potencies, at the right forms. There's different forms of these different nutrients, and it's hard to navigate which forms are good, better, best. And so to have somebody on your team that can help guide you in that is what I'm trying to encourage the world to do. So that's like prong number two, is that immune system. And then that inflammation is that next step, because that's in ours, we're starting to shift from the immune conversation, which we're having hundreds of these conversations every day, to the inflammation conversation, because in the weeks and months ahead, we know many of us will have encountered the virus and gone through, and that's where inflammation becomes a concern, especially for those that are in greater immune compromised or the elderly. Inflammation is part of COVID-19 with the pneumonia-like symptoms, that you want to break down the inflammation in the body. So then there's a couple of other supplements that are really therapeutic for that. So yeah, it's a consultation, that we'll have with people, and that's where we want people to ask questions, whether you buy anything or not, gain some education, get a little bit of a battle plan, and we'll ask questions like, hey, how old are you? A 60-year-old, for example, would have more concern than a 20-year-old. If somebody has COPD or asthma, these things affect what we'd recommend and how passionately we're going to recommend more therapeutic agents.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of great information.
I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm so.
There were some things in there talking about especially asthma, because I can relate. I have asthma. It's a concern.
All right. Me too, actually. Yeah.
And it's something that I've had for many, many years, kind of off and on, and battled and whatever, but it makes this virus more concerning to me. And a lot of people out there with respiratory concerns. So to know that there are additional things we can do outside of, hammering those steroids or whatever control treatment you have if you need that for an asthma inhaler. I think that's really beneficial to know that for myself and many others that struggle with
Absolutely.
asthma.
I battled with asthma all my life. Growing up, I've been hospitalized 3 or 4 times on the breathing machine, on the oxygen, and my life was at risk. Grew up on all those inhalers, Ceravent, Banserol, albuterol, prednisone, and boy, I am free from all of those now. I'm so thankful for that. And it's amazing what the right supplements can do. Not saying that this is going to cure everybody of asthma. I still have asthma. You can reduce the inflammation in the lungs. And for people like you and me, we are at greater risk. Pneumonia would hit us harder. Every time I get a cold, it goes straight to my lungs. I have a hard time. And there's nutraceuticals that really do help. And if they really do help, then people need to know about them. And that's what we're trying to get that information out.
The other thing I wanted to say about that second prong that you mentioned, which was, okay, we all have access to the internet. We all have the ability to research things, and you type in a search about some of the things you mentioned, and you'll find thousands of sources, right? So how do
Yes.
you, as a person trying to look into this stuff, that's one of the reasons, because I know you well and because I respect you, that
Thank you.
and in your approach to your business, is that I feel if someone has a question, you or someone on the Healthy Places team is a good place to start, or a good place to refer that question, so they can get a
Thank you.
clean, good answer without, trying to be sold on something, or just having multiple sources of information that conflict and they don't know how to sort it out. So if you got a
Thank you.
question on that stuff, sorry if I volunteered you for this, but usually you're okay answering questions. That
Yeah.
they should check with you guys.
We love it. I joke with customers, and they've taken me up on it. I had a customer call me from Whole Foods the other day saying they were checking out some different supplements and which one did I think was better. And it was really cool because it was an opportunity. When you're a business owner, you're in sales, whatever. It's nice to be able to show people that you actually care about them and not just about their dollars. So it was a cool opportunity to be like, hey Nancy, yeah, grab this brand over that brand that's going to serve you a little bit better. So we love that. That's why we have the live chat feature on our website, where you can go to findyourhealthyplace.com, talk to one of our healthy wellness consultants, and just ask them those questions like, what is good for XYZ? My IBS, or my headaches, or my energy fatigue, or COVID-19. And you can get information. We're just giving that information away, and people can then make the decisions that they want to make. So thanks for saying that. That's my heart.
Well, I love telling people about good people, and the more good information we can get out, especially during this time, with all of the information we're all absorbing, I think the better. So I appreciate you taking
Yeah.
the time to do this. I
Amen.
did
You're
want
happy
to
to.
transition now to what is really another effect, a side effect of what this virus is doing, which is the stress, the anxiety, the
Mm,
fear that is causing a lot of people. And I know, as a person who has had some anxiety struggles in the past,
mm,
myself, a lot of us have, those things are heightened right now. So what are
absolutely.
some ways that people can help themselves in that situation, and struggling with anxiety, stress, to kind of lessen that, relieve that a little bit? What are some strategies you would suggest?
Yeah, so I'll give you three, and sometimes people will choose one or the other or all three, depending on how severe their sorts of situations are, and that's part of why we have consultations. So that's an invitation to anybody that is battling that to have a conversation. And how severe is it? Does it touch into depression? Are we battling sleep issues? Is it full-on anxiety attacks, or is it just higher levels of stress time to time? So those sort of give us the information we need to make really good recommendations. But as a sort of higher up view on the topic, I love people to understand sort of three different products and three different approaches to this anxiety conversation. And first thing to know is that the hippocampus in the brain and the adrenal glands are the two systems that mostly control your stress and anxiety. So there's good reason, and the proof's in the pudding, to see that if you strengthen those two systems, it's amazing what can happen for reducing stress and anxiety. So the hippocampus, everyone has heard me talk a lot about in the past couple of years if you follow any of our stuff. the CBD conversation. CBD from hemp has been shown thousands of times just in my little stores, let alone around the country and around the world, to be one of the most therapeutic, powerful stress, anxiety relievers that we know of on the planet. And it's so good for you. And that's part of what gets me excited about the nutraceutical space is pharmaceutical drugs. I'm thankful for them. They sometimes save lives. They treat a symptom and then they hurt the body in some sort of way, side effect, the negatives from that, hard on the body, kidneys, whatever. Whereas a natural nutraceutical will treat a symptom and then strengthen the body in a number of different ways. So it's this beautiful paradigm shift. And that shift, that sort of understanding is what got me fired up to be in this industry in the first place. It was such a cool light bulb going off for me. So when you strengthen the hippocampus with something like CBD oil, you feel calmer, you feel stress relief, and you also lessen depression. You help sleep problems. You feel more relaxed throughout the day. And you strengthen that system in the body called the endocannabinoid system, which is a powerful balancer, if you will, in the body. It creates a homeostasis or balance in the body. So that's number one, hippocampus, strengthen it. Number
Hold on,
two.
I've got to interject real quick here because
Yeah,
I know
please.
there are questions. I know there are questions still out there, even though as much as you've talked about it and others, and as long as it's been around, about CBD. Please explain to people why CBD is not the same as a drug or marijuana, please.
Yeah. So funny story. So great question. Is I was against CBD in the beginning, and now in the state of Wisconsin, we're one of the loudest people marketing CBD oil. And in the beginning, I thought it was marijuana. I quit that in my teen years. I didn't want anything to do with marijuana anymore. It hurt my life. And I certainly didn't want to be encouraging my customers to get into that lifestyle. So for me, it was a negative in the beginning. It was like, no. And then it took some of my mentors and it took some education to see, okay, hold on, Tim. First off, you care about helping people. Second, this is not getting people high. Third, this is totally legal. It's from hemp. You've heard of hemp clothing, hemp rope, etc. This is not to be confused with drugs or cocaine or meth or even marijuana itself, because it doesn't have the THC component. So a good way to summarize it, and my understanding that started to get me excited about the topic, was that it has all the benefits of medicinal marijuana without the high. So we've all heard about that over the past decades, of the power of medicinal marijuana for cancer, the power for anxiety and depression and sleep and chronic pain. And we just didn't, most of us at least didn't want that high component of being stoned all the time. So we didn't want anything to do with it. It was also illegal. So now we have access to the active compound from hemp, different crop than marijuana crop, by the way. So that was another understanding for me, that has the benefits of medicinal marijuana without the high. So now that opens up a whole beautiful number of benefits to the system with how CBD works. Very few nutrients in the world perfectly fit like a lock and key into your body. So we have these receptors all throughout our body, and CBD unlocks those benefits.
Thank you for clarifying that. All right, continue on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought that was
important. No, I'm excited. I did forget what I was saying though. What were we talking about?
Well, you started with a few that you were going to tell us about.
Oh yeah, okay, I got it.
We just got through CBD, so
strengthen the hippocampus. CBD is the best for that. Strengthen the adrenal glands. That's the second system that controls stress and anxiety in the body. So Adrenal Boost is my favorite product, but we have a bunch of other brands too. Adaptra by Europharma, Adrenal Factors by Nature's Purist. We have a number of products. The idea is to get one that has adaptogenic herbs in it. And adaptogens help your body adapt to stress, nourishing, strengthening your adrenal glands. And they are powerful for the immune system too, side note, and great for mental clarity and focus, which, many of us will battle with brain fog at times. It also helps you get a deeper, better night's sleep. But the main thing it does is lowers your stress. So if you can strengthen those two systems, it's pretty profound the amount of benefits that most people feel from that. The third thing I really like, and I got it hiding in my cabinet too, is a product called Calm, which is a form of echinacea, not the kind that boosts the immune system, a different form that is well clinically studied for fast anxiety relief, for those moments when it's all hitting the fan. And it's, we've all had those days, a couple weeks back, my hands, I noticed, were shaking a little bit just from the craziness of it all. I'm sure you can understand that. And boy, that Anxio Calm is very fast acting, and it's nice to have for that quick, fast action. So if you can have those two products to really strengthen those two systems, hippocampus and adrenal glands, and then something for that quick, fast relief, that's the best way to really get that conversation under control from a supplement standpoint. And we've seen dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people get away under their doctor's supervision, away from the pharmaceutical drugs. I get 6 to 12. I've been saying this for maybe a year and a half now. It's still coming in my inbox. 6 to 12 testimonies per day of people getting away from the pharmaceutical drugs because of some of the natural nutraceuticals. And I'm loving it, man. People are feeling better, feeling stronger, and it's nourishing and nurturing and strengthening their body, and not just treating a symptom and hurting the body. So I love that.
That's amazing. That's great stuff, Tim. Like you said, this whole time, and even when I first talked to you, you mentioned, wanting to work alongside the existing medical system, and you have people talk to you, and when it's an appropriate fit for something that your company offers or supplies, then you suggest it. But other times when it's not, you suggest people see their doctor or refer to them. So I think it's so
Yeah.
important to mesh the two together, like you have done such a great job of. And the more and more we see of that in our community, in our country, the healthier
Yes.
we're all going to be.
Amen, dude. I can't brag enough about our medical system in Madison, Wisconsin. I mean, we got some of the best doctors in the world, some of the best pharmacists, and we are living in a good city. So I love it.
So we've talked about that stuff now. Depression. Did you have anything more to say about that? Because right now, with the
Mm,
social distancing, and some people in that process, they might live alone. Like myself, like you. We've got kids around. We've got family. We do. We've got things to keep ourselves busy and occupied. But some people are living alone and now told to stay home and social distance. So they could be getting pretty lonely, and in that process, you can see depression hit. So what do we have to tell those people?
absolutely, man. I mean, my heart goes out to them. I was driving yesterday for the business, and somebody gave me an extra long wave, on the sidewalk, and I just thought, oh man. At first, I was like, why are they? What's it? And I think people are lonely, man. We're not used to being socially distant. Even seeing you right now, I want to give you a high five, but I can't. Or computers are not the same. But yeah, so as we get depressed, part of it, the conversation is that hippocampus and adrenal glands still. So that's how it's connected still to some of those other products I mentioned. Another thing that comes to play is chemical imbalances. So dopamine levels, serotonin levels, oxytocin. I mean, each of these chemicals have a different benefit in the body. Oxytocin is like that love chemical. When you're feeling bubbly inside, I look at my wife and I go, I love you. And dopamine levels is like when you get that text message and like, oh, somebody's thinking about me. I'm gonna check to see who that is. A little shot of dopamine goes up, and endorphins, and so we have these different chemicals, and it's good to stimulate those in a healthy way. So that's where I'm encouraging people to, interact in some sort of way if you can, because that really helps some of those chemicals. In addition, though, from a supplement standpoint, which I think is what you're asking, is you can take nutrients like 5-HTP, 5-hydroxytryptophan, actually balances your serotonin levels. Magnolia bark helps lower cortisol levels, which is that stress hormone that can contribute to depression. BCM 95 curcumin can reduce the inflammation connected to depression. That's what Baylor University out of Texas is utilizing to treat depression, and it's performing wonderfully well. So that's where, if you have some of these issues, whether it be concerns for COVID-19, stress, anxiety, whether it be depression, that's where a conversation, whether it's live chat or a phone call consultation or stopping in the stores, is a great way to talk through your situation and just gain a little education on what can be done, and just having those little pieces of information. If I have one hashtag over my life, it's impact, and that's what I teach my team. It's like you can make such a difference in a person's life with just one of these nutrients. The right nutrient for the right problem can make all the difference.
Wow, that's fantastic stuff. Okay, so you've talked about a lot of great things, great information. I know you mentioned people can chat with you on your website or some of your team. But
Mhm.
tell us now during this time, because the
Yeah.
business is different for everybody. So what are ways people can get supplies, get things from the Healthy Place if they choose to do that?
Yeah, yep. We try to make it as easy as possible. So thankful that we're classified as an essential business. Our doors are still open,
Hmm.
so you can come into the store. We're practicing all the safety precautions and sanitization and social distancing and etc. Some people still want to come in, and that's okay. We want to make it really, 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 really easy to not have to come in for everybody's safety. So you can hop on the live chat, have a consultation from home on our website, findyourhealthyplace.com. In the lower corner, right corner, you'll see a little live chat button. You can call the stores. We have so many customers that prefer that vocal, verbal conversation, and I prefer that myself. And so you can call the stores and have a consultation with one of our wellness consultants. We have people that drive up to the store and got their kids in the car maybe, and will call from their cell phones into the store and have a consultation. Our team's happy to come right out and grab their credit card, or grab the credit card over the phone if we don't want the germs on that, and bring their product straight to their car, like the curbside idea. We also, though, one of my favorite features that we started a year ago was our same day delivery to our Dane County residents. So anybody in Dane County can order. If they order before 2 o'clock, they will receive same day. My team's amazing right now, just running all over Madison, dropping off packages. You look for the little transit vehicle, and or can take advantage of the free shipping. So both opportunities are free, same day delivery, free shipping anywhere else in the world. But yeah, so we've tried to make it as easy as we can. And if there's any questions, let me know too. My personal email is tim@apple-wellness.com. I mean, this is what I'm doing all day. It's just helping people out, and it brings me a lot of joy. So don't feel like you're bothering me there.
All right, Tim, did I miss anything?
Man, I mean, keep laughing. It's so funny. I was teaching my team this the other day, and I learned this some time ago. Laughing, dancing, singing, as silly as it all sounds, it strengthens the system. I mean, it literally, there's science behind each one of those. If you can keep laughing, boy, is that good for your body.
All right, we're gonna try this high five. I'm gonna go to gallery view here on Zoom, and let's see if we can do it split screen. Okay, I'm gonna go
All
this
right.
way. You go that way. Ready?
Yep.
Virtual high five. Ready? Go. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
baby.
one. We'll do it again. There we go. Tim, you're the best.
You
Stay
are too, man.
positive, stay healthy,
Thank
and
you.
thanks so much for all the advice and information. That's Tim O'Brien, one of the owners of the Healthy Place Apple Wellness. You can find more information on their website. You can reach out to him directly. You can reach out to the team, the staff. And what a great resource for Dane Buy Local and the community. Thanks so much, Tim.
Thanks so much, dude. You have a great day.
All right, take care. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for an interview with Swave. We're going to talk to Britt about what Swave's doing to help people locally in the community. Bye, Tim.
Bye bye.